Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas Cowboys, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. The Dallas Cowboys, the media, and its widespread fanbase have the majority of their attention squared at one future contract extension, that of All-Pro edge rusher and linebacker, Micah Parsons. And whilst EVP, Stephen Jones, feels confident that they will eventually get a deal done with the former Penn State star, there have been few forthcoming updates on that deal in recent weeks. However, a deal that should be looked at considerably more eagerness is the likely looming contract set to be awarded to Cowboys guard, Tyler Smith. Smith has started all but 4 games over the past 3 seasons in the NFL, since being drafted out of Tulsa in 2022, en route to making the All-Rookie team, followed by 2 Pro Bowl appearances and 1 second-team All-Pro selection this past season. Accordingly, Smith is viewed by Christopher Knox at Bleacher Report as a player who could well reset the market at guard when he gets paid, although he could be waiting a while. Dallas Cowboys offensive lineman Tyler Smith is extension eligible this offseason, Knox writes, though Dallas doesn't have a recent habit of awarding new contracts early. If the Cowboys decide to extend him this offseason at all, there's a good chance they'll wait until after Trey Smith has signed his deal. Now, there's no guarantee the Cowboys will extend Smith this year. The 2022 first-round pick still has 2 years remaining on his rookie deal, and Jerry Jones has a tendency to wait on contracts. Yet, Knox considers that Jones could make an exception for Smith and pay him early, possibly giving him a league-high deal at interior offensive line in the process. Smith has started 47 games in 3 seasons and has earned a pair of Pro Bowl nods. He's also proven himself capable of filling in at tackle if needed and has been mostly reliable when in the lineup. While Smith does have an alarming penchant for penalties, he had 9 last season, per PFF, he's played at least 96% of the offensive snaps in every campaign. Does Smith deserve a record-setting contract after only 3 seasons? Perhaps not, but since we're talking about the Cowboys, it's entirely possible. Prescott wasn't the best quarterback in the NFL entering the 2024 season, but Jones made him the highest-paid player in league history anyway. Smith is not, as Knox notes, at this point in time one of the absolute top guards in football, in the tier of figures like Quentin Nelson, Quinn Meinerz, Landon Dickerson and Chris Lindstrom. However, he is probably in the tier directly below those players, and easily a top 10 guard in football. And with all of those players tied up in long-term deals, it would not be shocking to see the former Tulsa man supplant Dickerson as the highest-paid guard in football at some point over the next 10 months. The Dallas Cowboys revamped the team's running back depth chart this offseason and will have a new starter when Week 1 rolls around. Yet, several Cowboys veterans are fighting for a roster spot with some players in danger of never taking a snap for Dallas. The Cowboys' significant offseason additions at the position include signing Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders during NFL free agency. Dallas followed up these moves by selecting Texas Longhorns running back Jaden Blue and Clemson Tigers rusher Phil Mafah on the 3rd day of the NFL draft. All this has created a murky picture at running back months before the Cowboys begin training camp. One former Pro Bowler may be in danger of getting cut. The Cowboys signed Sanders, who the team has familiarity with from his standout years with the Philadelphia Eagles, but this was not the same player who suited up for the Carolina Panthers. Sanders is fighting for a roster spot and needs to solidify himself during training camp. Sports Illustrated's Randy Gertze offered an early projection for the Cowboys' depth chart and has Williams winning the starting role. The analyst believes Sanders will get cut as Dallas finalizes their roster ahead of Week 1. Deuce Vaughn is another running back who gets the axe in these projections. Deuce Vaughn is another player who gets edged out by a rookie, Gertze wrote in a May 5, 2025, story titled, Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster prediction after rookie minicamp. 7th-round pick Phil Mafah is a bulldozer who can dominate in short yardage situations. Vaughn was a great story, but he hasn't taken advantage of the opportunities to this point. Also gone is Miles Sanders, who wasn't impressive the past 2 years in Carolina. The projections have Blue as the Cowboys' backup running back, with Maffa and Hunter Luepke joining Williams as the 4 rushers who make the final roster. Prior to selecting Blue and Maffa, the Cowboys sounded confident in the veterans the team added in free agency. "I like what we did in free agency," Cowboys Chief Operating Officer Stephen Jones said regarding the team's running back moves on April 25, per Pro Football Talk. "That's one of the things we like to accomplish in free agency, is get some guys in and feel like we did that. We don't really feel like we have to pick a position anywhere in terms of our depth. That's how you make mistakes when you say, hey, we've got to draft for need here. I think you make mistakes that way. Don't get me wrong, it comes into everybody's pick when you're looking at players, but we don't feel the need to have to reach and take a player down the line just because we need a position." Sanders' days as a Pro Bowl running back may be a thing of the past. The veteran's best season came with the Eagles in 2022 when Sanders posted 259 carries for 1,269 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns in 17 appearances, earning his lone Pro Bowl nomination. Sanders failed to reach 500 rushing yards in either of his 2 seasons with Carolina. The running back could have a bounce-back opportunity given the number of weapons who will surround him in Dallas. The Miami Dolphins have not traded Jalen Ramsey yet, but there is growing speculation that it is only a matter of time until something happens. As the month of May continues to tick away, there has been more and more speculation regarding the eventual departure of the best Dolphins cornerback. The Dallas Cowboys have come up as one of the rumored destinations. Now, there is more news that sheds light on where the Dolphins' CB could end up. June 2nd remains the likely moving day, as the Dolphins will get more cap relief than if they trade him prior to the end of May. This has been the ongoing speculation after Ramsey was not traded during the draft. With days remaining in the month, it makes sense that the fires may be starting to get a little hotter. According to Landon Holyfield of The Lando Show, Ramsey has purchased a house in Fort Worth. It's important to stress that this is unconfirmed and still just a rumor, but it's potentially significant. Nothing in the NFL is a certainty, and players will buy houses all over the country despite playing in other cities. Typically, they move a little closer to home. Ramsey, however, is from Tennessee and played college ball at FSU. Dallas is a great city to live in, but what's the draw for a player who doesn't have a lifelong link to the city? That's where the speculation comes in. Recent rumors have indicated a move for Ramsey to an NFC team. Dallas is one of those cities that was named prior to him buying a house. Does this mean the Cowboys are the team he lands with? Of course not, but it does fan the flames of speculation. It would be ironic if he were to live in Dallas but ended up playing for the Washington Commanders. Regardless of where he ends up living, it appears more and more likely his days of being with the Dolphins are over. OTAs have begun, and while they are not mandatory, the absence of Ramsey isn't surprising. The Dolphins have moved on from all indications, and Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, and Anthony Weaver have all made comments that would seem his departure is all but official. The Dolphins will need to find a replacement for him quickly, especially if they want that new CB to take part in the offseason work before everything breaks down in June.